Hi, everybody. I'm Matt Carey, and welcome to the Deadline Virtual Sundance Studio for our discussion of Captains of Zaatari, which is premiering in World Cinema Documentary Competition. I'm very happy to welcome now the director of the film, Ali El Arabi, and his translator.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Well, this is really, I think, just such a beautiful film, and I congratulate you for it. The setting for most of it is the Zaatari refugee camp in Jordan, which is, I believe, is the largest in the world for mostly for Syrian refugees. But before I ask you about the main characters in the film, these young men who really dream of being soccer stars, hoping that might get them out of the camp, can you describe a little bit what Zaatari is like, what it's like to be there?
هو مخيم الزعتري هو مكان هو بيسأل عن المخيم صح؟
مظبوط. شكله ايه؟ عامل ازاي يعني؟
المخيم هو مكان مليان بالناس حالمين، إمكانيات بسيطة، منطقة جبلية مكونة من 3 ألوان رمادي وأبيض، ورمادي لون الأرض يعني وأبيض لون الشمس. فهو مكان بالنسبة لي بالناس اللي فيه هو مكان غني جدا، بالإمكانيات اللي فيه هو مكان فقير جدا.
For me, it was a place full of dreaming people. It's a mountainous area that has 3 colors intermingled: gray, white, and red. Red being the color of the sun. The place with the people, with its people, the refugees, is very rich. The people with its potentials is very poor.
Right, and we see that one of the few outlets for at least the boys and young men is to play soccer, you know, what you would call football. And tell me about the 2 main characters that you found, Fauzi and Mahmoud, and why playing football is so important to them.
أنا قابلت محمود وفوزي في ليه محمود وفوزي ولا فين؟
قال ليه كرة القدم مهمة قوي للدرجات دي وليه محمود وفوزي؟ اشمعنى؟
هو في يعني محمود فوزي أول مرة قابلني قال لي جملة، قال لي المكان الوحيد اللي بحس فيه اللي أنا مش لاجئ واللي أنا زي أي حد هو المستطيل الأخضر اللي عندنا في المخيم مش أخضر.
For the first time Fauzi met me, he gave me a sentence that is engraved up here. He tells me, the only time I feel that I'm not a refugee is in the pitch while I am playing, and he calls it the green rectangle.
Right, it's in the United States we might think of it as a field of dreams. There was a Hollywood film by that title. But these are, I mean, one of the things that was striking to me is these kids are so slender. I mean, it's like they really don't have enough food. They hardly have anything in this camp. And so to play football, you know, it becomes something super important to them.
هم كانوا نحيفين قوي قوي وما عندهمش يعني تقريبا ما بياكلوش، ما عندهمش حاجه، ومع ذلك لعب كرة القدم بالنسبه لهم شيء مهم جدا جدا.
طبعا عشان هو ده المكان الوحيد اللي ممكن يغير حياتهم، ده المكان الوحيد، ده المكان الحاجه الوحيده اللي ممكن تنقذ اخرين، ده المكان الوحيد او الحاجه الوحيده اللي ممكن تخلي حياتهم في المستقبل افضل ويقدروا يغيروا مستقبل اخواتهم الصغيرين او اهليهم في مكان معدوم الفرص زي ده. ما كانش فيه قدامهم حاجه غير حلمهم يتمسكوا بيه يعني.
You're right. They were very skinny and they have very little to have. As I told you in my first comments, that it's poor with potentials, rich with the people, and that's why these people were rich with their persistence and resilience to chase their dream, because the field of dreams is the venue through which they can build their future, build the future of their brothers and sisters, and they can get out of away from the fences of this refugee camp.
Right, and we see their journey as they're able to go abroad to Qatar and play in some international matches. But I wonder, Ali, if you could explain how you met these guys and if it was difficult convincing them to allow you to follow them for the documentary.
قابلتهم ازاي وازاي اقنعتهم ان هم يكونوا جزء من الفيلم الوثائقي الجميل ده؟
أنا كنت بصور بعض التقارير عن احتياجات اللاجئين مع اليو ان ومع جامعة الدول العربية، وما قابلت محمود وفوزي لفت انتباهي اللي هم مهتمين جدا بيحاولوا يعرفوا العالم الخارجي من خلالنا كفريق، وبعد الكلام معاهم عرفت اللي هم شخصيات غنية ينفع نعمل عنهم فيلم. حصل نشأ بينا صداقة، والصداقة دي خدت سنة. في السنة دي كانت عودوا عليا وعلى الكاميرا وعلى الفريق، وحسينا اللي سهل نقدر نبقى معاهم في فيلم. أنا ما أقنعتهمش على قد ما هم كانوا متحمسين يبقوا معانا وجزء من اللي احنا بنعمله.
I was doing reports. I was making some reports in this refugee camp about the needs of the refugees for the United Nations and the Arab League. And I found these two boys very curious about the world outside the fence of the refugee camp. And they kept asking me questions, and they were all the time around me asking questions about the world, about life, many things, very inquisitive and very curious. And our relationship continued on for a year, a full year. I did not need to convince them. They are actually who are the ones who convinced me with what they have.
Well, I'm very glad they did, because it's, we see such a beautiful film as their story unfolds. We see around the Zaatari camp, the barbed wire. There's kind of the story about Fauzi's father, who tries to get out and work, and there's some bad consequences for him and for the family because of that. I'm curious of how the refugees are viewed within Jordan, to the extent that you know.
ازاي وضع اللاجئين في الأردن، يعني الناس هناك بيبصوا لهم ازاي طبقا للي انت شفته يعني؟
احنا عندنا حاجتين نوعين من الناس بتتعامل مع اللاجئين. ناس بتتعامل معاهم على انهم ضحايا وصعبانين عليهم وعندنا شفقة تجاههم، وناس تانية بتشوفهم اللي هم جم خدوا جزء من مواردنا وجزء من فرصنا، والمية والكهرباء اللي بتروح لهم بشكل متقطع او الدعم اللي بيجي بيروحهم مش من حقهم. يعني هو عندنا نوع من الناس، ودول الناس اللي دفعوني اصلا اعمل الفيلم واقول اللي هم لا هم محتاجين شفقة ولا هم الناس اللي خدوا جزء من فوق.
The refugees are regarded by two types of people. The first type is the one that they see that they are victims, and they are the people who suffer from the ways things happen in the world, and that's the first one. The second one are the people who really made me feel like I need to make that movie, because they are the ones who think that the refugees are here to take my bread and butter, to take my electricity, to take my water, and they get assistance that we should have get, that we should get. And this is why I made that movie for this type, for the second type of the people.
Exactly. And it was a late addition to the Sundance lineup. I'm just curious what it means to you to have your film make its world premiere at the festival.
احساسك ايه وهو ان الفيلم بيتعرض لاول مره بشكل عالمي في هذا المهرجان؟
احساس يعني ده شيء بشكر عليه ساندانس، واحساسي سعيد جدا، وشايف ان ده تقدير ضخم جدا ليا وصناع الافلام اللي من المنطقه العربيه، وتقدير للفيلم وللكاركترز اللي موجوده جوه الفيلم. ومبسوط ان الفيلم هيتشاف بشكل واسع جدا في العالم. هو مش فيلم عن اللاجئين، هو فيلم عن اي اتنين حالمين ممكن نشوفهم في امريكا، في البرازيل، في اي مكان في العالم. وده هيوصل صوت الولدين دول وصوتي بالفيلم ده لكل حته في العالم.
Of course, I am more than happy, and I thank Sundance for that. I really do thank them from my heart. It means a lot. It means respect for me, for my staff and crew, for the filmmakers of this part of the world where I live in, where I come from, and it's a great appreciation for the characters and for what they have been through. And I am also thrilled because this movie will show that it's not just about refugees. It's about all the dreamers all around the world, because the dreams these two gentlemen have are dreams that you can find in the United States, in Brazil, in India, China, anywhere in the world. So it will be seen by huge people, a huge number of people, which I believe they will resonate with the characters.
Oh, yes, I think it's really a universal story and so touching. I'm wondering if you know or can say anything about distribution plans for the film after Sundance.
خطط التوزيع بعد المهرجان هتبقى عامله ازاي؟
احنا هيبقى عندنا رحله هنخوضها في مجموعه مهرجانات. بعد كده هنبقى موجود، هنحاول نبقى الفيلم موجود بشكل كبير على مجموعه منصات لعرض الفيلم، بحيث الفيلم يوصل لاكبر عدد من الناس. واللي بيتولوا ده دلوقتي دوج وولف، وهي شركه مهمه بيساعدوني بشكل قوي جدا. دوج
وولف.
Yes.
Well, the movie is going to go into a journey of film festivals, and afterwards it will be featured through many platforms and will be hopefully seen by huge number of people. And thanks to Dog Wolf, who helped me distribute that and make it seen all over.
And I'm sorry. And شيء مهم جدا بالنسبه لي ان الفيلم هيتعرض في تقريبا جميع المخيمات اللاجئين، عشان محمود فوزي يبقوا رول موديل للولاد الصغيرين والجيل الجديد اللي موجود هناك. وهنعرض الفيلم كمان في اماكن كتيره جدا لها علاقه بالناس اللي يقدروا ياخدوا قرار، متخذين القرارات لها علاقه باللاجئين، سواء كانوا رؤساء حكومات او مؤسسات حكومات.
And of course, above all that, regarding the distribution plans, I regard a very important point, which is going to be free of charge display, free of charge feature of the movie all over the refugee camps all over the world, so that the two boys or the two gentlemen will be a role model for the other refugees, the other dreamers, to feel for them and resonate with them and have the same aspirations. And also the movie will be shown in embassies, in international institutions, and in the circuits of the decision makers of the regarding the refugees. So we hope it can change things.
And a last question for now. I don't know whether Mahmoud and Fauzi have had an opportunity to see the film, but if they have, what was their reaction?
محمود وفوزي شافوا الفيلم، ولو شافوه كان ايه رايه، ايه انطباعاتهم او رد فعلهم؟
هما لسه هيشوفوا الفيلم الايام اللي جايه. انا عاوز اخليهم يشوفوا الفيلم مع الناس، ويبقوا موجودين في كيو ان اي، الرياكشن بتاعهم حقيقي وحاليا عشان يتنقل للمشاهدين او الناس اللي بتتكلم معاهم. خايف جدا عشان الجزء بتاع ابو فوزي وموته هيأثر عليه، بس متحمس يشوفوا حياتهم تاني يعني، ويعرفوا قد ايه هم ابطال يعني.
They haven't seen the movie yet, but I want them to see the movie with the people so that they can have another look at their lives and retrieve such nice memories. And they would realize that they are true heroes and true dreamers. However, the only thing that I'm kind of a little bit worried about is the moment when Fauzi sees the death of his father. I feel for him because I was beside him at that moment, and I don't want him to suffer again.
Yes, it's a very, very touching part of the film. I mean, how much they all have suffered, and then to lose your father at a young age as well is more misery on top of what they already experience. Well, I want to thank you, Ali,
Appreciate it.
the director and producer of Captains of Zaatari, which is premiering in World Cinema Documentary Competition at Sundance. I really think if it gets wide distribution, we'll be talking about this for the Oscars next year. It's a superb and beautiful film. And also thank you to your translator, Mohammed Faoud.